Thank you so much, everyone, for being here this evening. Again, I want to echo what folks have said. It's even though we can't gather in person as much as we would like, I still really enjoy being able to connect with folks, and I'm feeling really grateful for this virtual tool where we can still see each other's faces and talk with one another and talk about the things that matter to us and the things that matter to our communities. I am Brandy Brooks. I use she, her pronouns. I live in Kensington. I'm a renter. I am a housing justice and environmental justice activist. I am someone who loves being able to invest in this amazing place where we all live, Montgomery County. And Carolyn, I want to thank you and Elijah too for such beautiful words. I deeply appreciated them. And Carolyn, I think what you said about that, the joy and the love and the ways that we can celebrate and thrive with one another really is a lot of what drives me. It's a lot of what both gets me excited and I think also what sustains me in the midst of the things that we're dealing with. Our communities are dealing with some really heavy stuff right now with COVID, with an eviction crisis, with a climate crisis, with economic injustice and instability, all of these different things going on. And in the midst of that, those problems are huge and they could really weigh you down and make you think, where's the hope? What are we going to do? And I know that I draw my hope, like so many of us, from my family, especially from the kids in my family. A number of my family members live in Montgomery County, including my niece, who is 7 and who is in Montgomery County Public Schools. And that's so much of what inspires me to do the work that I do. Not only to build a future, as Elijah was talking about, where we are not passing along massive generational injustices, but also one of the great things about having young kids in your family is that they persistently remind you to be joyful. They persistently remind you to look ahead, to imagine things that are beyond what we see today, to be creative, to be excited, and to invest in joy and love and play. And remember that that's so much of what makes our lives beautiful. And then having the opportunity to go to this training in 2017 that talked about a different kind of politics that we could have. The term that they used at the time in the training was movement politics, and it was this idea that what we're all used to in this political circus can actually be done very, very differently. That you can have people who, instead of trying to run to poll tested messaging that feels like it doesn't say anything with a ton of words, you can have folks running and talking about their real experiences of their lives and the real things that we're seeing in the community and the real things that we need in our communities and that we want, that we aspire to. The idea that we can do politics in a way that isn't just about getting people to the polls every 2 or 4 years and then leaving these huge gaps of years where we're not engaged, but that is about building a continuous group of folks who are constantly able to help shape the policies that are affecting our communities and constantly be able to not only hold our elected officials accountable, but in the best opportunities to partner with them on making sure that the policies that are developed are actually things that are going to benefit our communities the most. And that's what inspired me to run and inspired me to run in a way where I was thinking as a community organizer, well, I want other folks to feel like what we do in elections, what we do in policy isn't just intellectual conversations, but it's about us being able to live into our hopes and dreams for ourselves. And it's about us having more ability to shape what happens in our lives and to get the things that we need. And what I want to see us do in Montgomery County is be a model for the best and the most creative and the most exciting and the most effective ways that we are tackling the big problems that are facing our communities. Because what happens in Montgomery County doesn't just matter for Montgomery County, it matters for the region, it matters for the state. And in fact, because of our proximity to DC, it matters for the nation what people see us do here. I find it exciting for us to think about the ways that we can lead in our state and in our nation on showing how we build the kind of sustainable future that we all want and need. And it begins with you all. It begins with us being able to have these conversations together in meetings like this, in events in our community, to say, what's going on in our communities? What do we need? What do we want? What do we hope for? And then how do we build that together? So I'm really excited. I'm going to pause there because I want to engage in that conversation with you. I want us to be talking about the things that we see that we can be building together, and how we begin building in this campaign, and then how we continue building over the years to come, so that my niece and Elijah's daughter and son and all of our kids and all of us get to have the kind of future that supports us to thrive, not just to survive.